What do you think? Good. Morning, everybody. It's Saturday, December 7, 2019, and me and a special guest are headed to the vet. Say hi, Soph. Sophie is overdue on her yearly shots for rabies vaccine, all the other ones. Gonna get her nails trimmed and her glands milked or whatever they do. So, been putting it off. You know, the vet's only open usually maybe till 5:30 or something, and it makes it really tough to get out of work at 4, get all the way home, pick her up, and then bring her to the vet. So, seems to only work best on the weekends. So I called them about 9 o'clock, and she said, yeah, we have an opening at 10:30. I'm like, booyah, booyakasha. So, yep, I was holding off getting her shots because she was in such bad condition. I kind of, to be honest, didn't think she was going to make it. I think that was the week before Grant's birthday, so probably the end of September, that she was dealing with all those issues. And never seen her like that before. It's kind of scary because she was so down and out that she was about ready to throw in the towel, I think. And a combination of my buddy's meds that he gave her, it was some sort of anti-inflammatory, and these puppy pads that we've been putting on her feet have kind of pulled her through. So just happy that you know, we got through Grant's birthday time and all that, because that was stressful, man. So we got a couple ladies here running in the middle of the lane, middle of the road. Okay, they're getting over. That is still the single biggest gripe that I have about this hybrid, and an all-electric car would probably be even worse, is they, no one can hear you. Pedestrians can't hear you coming. The car is almost silent. Those ladies, those old biddies, were almost basically running in the middle of the damn road. I don't know why they feel the need to do that. The curb side is clear. I don't know. They literally decided to run in the middle of the lane, like a couple of idiots. Okay, whatever. Those are the same ones that I saw running when it was snowing out and raining out and everything else. So I don't. There's got to be some sort of a sickness or something at that stage. But hoping to get the baby sofa all hooked up, fixed up, cleaned up, up to date, and then we can go back to relaxing and stuff for a little while. So she's really been adopting well to those puppy pads on her toes and stuff. So makes me happy. Not really much planned for today. Grant and I, we've been watching a little bit of BattleBots. We've been playing with Legos. I built a couple small BattleBots out of Legos, and I don't know, it's kind of nice. It's fun, just hanging out. And I started reading that book. It's from the team that made the robot called Minotaur, and I guess this book is over 10 years old, but it's all the basics about combats. They call them combats, like combat robots. I don't know. But they talk about all the different types, all the different, you know, which ones fare better against other opponents and different things like that. And then they eventually get into each component and all that stuff, and talking about the different components and stuff. So that's what I'm most interested in, because I have no experience, is kind of figuring out what everyone else uses. And you know, I don't want to just buy something random and then realize wow, this is definitely not the right application for this component, you know, the wrong types of motors or whatever. So I feel if I can do my due diligence, my money will be better spent on the right stuff versus random stuff and hoping or trying to get it to work. So I've already found some crazy different things and stuff, like about the motors and stuff. I found a website that had the motors, and they're like, you know, 15 or 20 bucks, but then they're putting the motors onto these gearboxes, they call them, and the gearbox makes the output shaft larger, and it also multiplies, it's like a planetary type of system. It multiplies the probably not only the force, but it also multiplies the like the speed of the output shaft. So like for every 1 turn of the motor, the gearbox output shaft is turning 4 times or 8 times or 16 times or 200 times. So I would have not even realized that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So these are the revelations that I wanted to make or learn before I even start, so that way I have a better understanding of the fundamentals, because like there's so much to this stuff. And then there's different weight classes. Originally I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just build a big one, and then I realized the ones that we're watching on BattleBots, the TV show, they're 250 pounds, and the max size is 8 by 8. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how would I even transport something like that, let alone ever, you know, where would I store that, you know? So I'm looking probably more into like I guess the weight class is called featherweight, so possibly like a 30-pound robot, or I don't know. I guess I got to see what the competitions are doing around the area and stuff, you know. It's you got to kind of build it or design it for your build, or build for your plan, your goal, right? Your end goal. I don't want to build a car-sized robot that I can never use in a battle or something. They were talking about like heavyweights. They were like 300 pounds or 340 pounds. I'm like, holy shit, dude. The power that something that large could make, that's insane. So I'm not sure. I got to figure out like roughly the type of motors that I want to use to start with. And then after I do that, then I would also need to sort out and figure out the weight, you know, what would all those components and things and pieces and parts weigh. And then kind of once I get to that stage, then I can start doing the design and stuff. So I just had the idea of like a Swiss Army knife robot, and I just realized that I could probably have 2 separate designs. So what they're doing in BattleBots is they're tailoring their robots to their opponents. So they're bolting on extra armor. They're changing out their weapon system, like the way it looks or works. They're you know, modifying them and all kinds of different things to tailor them to their opponents. Now, I wanted to do maybe a spinner bot that's on the top, but if I have a vertical motor, I'm thinking that I could probably swap that out and make it like a tombstone bot, so that same vertical motor could drive the front blade or whatever you want to call it. That's what Tombstone has. So okay, I'm gonna have to think about that, because if I could set up the weight and the drive system and all that similarly, that might be cool. Unbolt, you know, on a let's say a flipper robot or something, having a spinner robot, once the spinner's upside down, you're done. But if I could have a robot that I could unbolt the spinner, if I'm up against a flipper, for instance, bolt on a front drive shaft type of thing, or a front prop, and then drive that, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Stay tuned for more. All right, guys, so Sophie's all checked out, checked up. She's up to date. She got the rabies shot, she got distemper, and then they gave her Dex and Benadryl to counteract any sort of reactions that she might have to those shots. So when she was younger, she had some really bad reactions, and they ended up giving those extra things to her every year since then, and no more problems. So he did recommend. I told him kind of what happened, but this guy is just like wham bam, in and out, get out of my face type of thing. But I told him what happened to her, and he was just like, well, she's gonna need full blood work and x-rays and all this stuff. So he wanted to give her a full body x-ray and all that. And he's like, it could be like a thing with her discs in her spine. And I'm literally telling him and pointing. I'm like, dude, her whole like shoulder and all that was inflamed or whatever. And he wasn't really even listening. He's like, oh, well, that's what the x-rays will help with. I'm like, you know, I'm like, well, how much is this the blood work? He's like, $130. I'm like, well, maybe after the holidays. You know, her whole checkup today was $150, so I wasn't going to double it. Insane, dude. Insane. So, I really enjoyed visiting my buddy at the other place. So, this is a kid I went to high school with. I was in band with him. Really nice guy, all that. And he actually sat down and, like, listened to what I had to say and all that. And then based, like, some of what he was thinking and going and doing off of my feedback, instead of just like, well, we'll just do all this stuff and then figure out what to do. It's like the guy's not even listening to anything I was saying. I'm like, so very impersonal and very just straight to the point and get out of my place, you know. And maybe my buddy was a little different with me because I know him or he knows me, I don't know, but I'm gonna have to look into switching doctors because that dude, my buddy, saved her life, man. I couldn't even get her into this other place. They were too busy and had this going on, that going on, surgery, all this shit, which I understand. You know, these vet clinics like that typically only have one vet, and that's it. So, yeah, I even was trying to talk to him about those puppy pads, and I brought him. I was going to show him and be like, dude, these things like saved her life, and he was just like, meh, whatever. Okay. So, you know, it's the difference, I guess, is the experience. That's, you know, that's obviously something that's important and everyone notices, but a lot of people overlook when they run their own businesses, and that's like one of the things that Luke and I incorporated into our photo business is that personal touch and that likability and that, you know, tailoring stuff to what the people want. You know, there's so many, let's look at even photography. There's so many like people that are like, well, this is my artwork. It's going to be what I want. I don't care what they want. They can tell me some ideas, but, you know, I'm not going to, you know, if they pull out a phone and said, I want this, I'm not going to do that because that's someone else's work and all this shit. It's like, dude, give them what they want and they'll be happy. Like, they're literally saying what they want and that makes them happy. So like, why would you give them something else? And it doesn't matter how good or whatever it is, it's not what they want, they're not going to be happy. So, you know, it's all about the personal interaction and the personal experience. I'm noticing, you know, and that's the big reason why Luke and I have been able to be so successful on literally just word of mouth. It's all it's been is word of mouth. We haven't really done much or any advertising or anything like that. We did one bridal show. So, you know, you gotta, my biggest thing in life that I've learned since I was little was that you can learn something from everyone you meet, everyone you come across. Whether they're actually, you know, trying to teach you something or not, you can learn something from everybody if you just pay attention, look and listen, and open your eyes and ears. You know, that's, you know, like I said, this guy just taught me that, where, you know, he's taught me, like, it's when you take that extra minute to sit and, like, you know, actually listen to somebody that's having problems or whatever, it makes a big difference. So that's all I'm saying. That's all where I'm going with that is it's just the user experience. So yeah, I'm going to head home. It's almost lunchtime, another hour or so. I've been dealing with Grant's been having potty accidents every freaking day, and it's wearing me out, man. You know, like Monday he had one, Tuesday he had one. Thursday I had him. I think I had to clean him up. Yeah, Thursday I had to clean him up before we brought him back to his mom's. Last night, what did he do last night? I don't know if he had one last night. But this morning he woke up with some poop in his crack and all that. And last night he had one too, because he was like, oh, why don't you go downstairs and I'll put on my jammies by myself. I mean, he never does that. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, oh yeah, go get the TV ready. I'm like, no, why would you say that? And then I'm like, you're dirty, aren't you? And he's like, he does this like Indian head bobble thing. And I'm like, dude, come on. So that was last night. And then this morning I had to do it again. So it's every fucking day. All I need for him to do is to go to the bathroom. And then this stops. But he's just irregular. And it wears me out. You know, I'm getting up in the middle of the night to let her out. She was up at 1. So I let her out in the freezing cold. And then I got to go up and take Grant to go pee. So that way he can wake up dry, hopefully. He did. It's a lot, dude. It's a lot. I'm just tired of it. I just want solid night's sleep where I don't have to do this shit every single night, man. Because every night it's dealing with Sophie, and then on the nights I have Grant, it's Sophie and Grant, and it's just like, you know, being up for 15 or 20 minutes in the middle of the night, at least once, sometimes twice in a night, it just kills me, dude. Kills me.